Today, folks, I'm bringing you another auto assembly video. Well, a response anyway. Tony, my good friend, did about so good. How many days ago now? I wouldn't say it's a week ago. I'd say probably maybe about 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, roughly. Yeah, the master of all knowledge, System Lord, Lord Ball, as he likes to be known, or Tony, Sandovis G1, he made a question video related to auto assembly. Not necessarily auto assembly this year, it was more or less just regarded at the whole idea of auto assembly. And it was basically asking the question, what is your most fondest memory of auto assembly, or what is your greatest memory throughout all of the auto assemblies you've ever been to? What is that one moment, that one specific moment that it was just so unbelievably awesome and it's just stayed with you for how many years it's been, or could be, I don't know. So that's genuinely in a nutshell, that's essentially what he was asking the question, was basically your fondest memory of auto assembly. Now, I've been trying to make this video literally daily. I've been trying to do it, different, trying to come over in a different way. But the problem is that whenever I try to do it, I've gone on way too long. And it's trying to condense my reasons for my favourite fondest moment in a bit more of a quicker video, so it's not going to bore you guys watching. So I would have to go. Auto Assembly 2014. This year's Auto Assembly is going to be my 5th. So it's going to be my 5th year, and this year is obviously going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of Transformers, which is awesome. So I think I'm going to have to go back right to the very first auto assembly from my fondest memory, which was 2010, because obviously this year's my 5th. So 2010, I went down to auto assembly for the very first time. Now the story behind me finding out about auto assembly back then was more or less through certain individuals. A couple of people had been to auto assembly 2008. Because obviously there was an AA 2008. Well, actually, I think there's been about 7. I think there's 7 auto assemblies as of this year. I think it's the 7th auto assembly. I do apologise if I'm wrong with that, but I saw somebody put up earlier, some point on Facebook, saying that this year's was the 7th. I can't believe the count. It was the 7th auto assembly that is currently being held. So yes, so that's pretty cool. It's 7 auto assemblies, and it's just unbelievable how much from the very first one, like back in 2004, 2003, when it was literally just a handful of about 50 people. Then it goes right up to like a ridiculous amounts of people to like almost 1,000 people. It's just unbelievable the really hard work that everybody involved in auto assembly, past and present, have accomplished. Is just amazing. So I salute those individuals. If you're watching this video, you're awesome. So yeah, I'm going to get straight into it. So 2010 was my first one. So I actually found out about auto assembly more or less through certain individuals. Like Tony again, he made a pre-auto assembly video for 2009. Made a video about the year. Well, I didn't go to 2009, even though I was going to try, but I was too late to get a pass that year. Which was a shame, because it would have been nice to see Greg Berger, but even though I have actually met Greg Berger since, which is good. But yeah, so 2009 I would have loved to have gone, but I couldn't. So 2010, thanks to like people talking about it, and I watched like Kellogg Prime talking about. Yeah, I think he went to the 2008 one, and I think he went to this. I can't remember now, but he's been to a fair few as Kellogg Prime. And I've actually watched a few of his videos of his like his footage and basically his footage videos from past auto assemblies, and thanks to them videos and other people talking about it, like through word of mouth, it really got me interested. And since 2010, we took the plunge. I say we, me and Sam, because obviously me and Sam, it was kind of a dual thing for both of us to do, because um, we didn't do anything, and to be honest, nothing's really changed. We don't really do much socially, um, merely down to back then I was on dole. I didn't have a job. Back in 2010, I was on dole. It was a bit of a dark period because I couldn't find any employment. And we thought, and Sam was the same, I believe he was on dole as well. We were both on dole, which was an awful period for the both of us, so we needed a release. And auto assembly seemed to be that calling call to try and have a good time and just forget about the shit, which was unable to find work and things like that. So, yeah, so long story short, we go down there and we meet for the literally just walking into the. This was at the Holiday Inn, yeah, the Holiday Inn on Birmingham New Street, which was the hotel that were there for that specific event. And up to I think for another two or three, until we moved to the Hilton. So yes, so I was went to the Holiday Inn Hotel in the centre of Birmingham on New Street, and we literally just walked into the little lobby, the reception desk, and we bumped. And literally was just there for like 5 minutes, and we bumped into Magic Man Jamie. We bumped into Johnny the Dwarf Porn Star, or is known as Roddy Wave 666. So, but yeah, or Johnny, and Jared Wolfgang One. And it was unbelievable just meeting those three in general, because I'd been in numerous Skype chats and commenting on Facebook and YouTube before I even went to Auto Assembly. So I'd already kind of made like a friendship up with those specific people, and it was great to meet them face to face. Meeting those three individuals was just mind blowing for me. But the main thing that has always stayed with me, and the fondest memory, is the first time I went to the bar. Again, 2010. We go up after checking in at the reception. We then go to our room to obviously drop off our bags, because obviously I think we're about half an hour just stood talking to Johnny and Wolf and Jared and all that lot. So we're just messing around with each other's cameras and basically just doing stupid videos and stuff with each other. And after that, we sorted the room out. We went up to the room, dropped our bags off, and then went up to the bar, and it was unbelievable. I just can't. I've described it, and I've mentioned this specific feeling before in past AA videos. All I can describe this feeling of when we literally walked around that corner. It was if I walked into an invisible brick wall, or it could also I could also argue the feeling was like being hit by a bolt of lightning at that moment in time, but obviously I hadn't been, but that's how it felt. It was either felt like just walked into an invisible brick wall, or being hit by a bolt of lightning. What I felt was just a sudden surge of this, like, hit me. Still to this day, I'm in my head, what was that feeling? Because I've never had that feeling before. And still to this day, I don't feel that anymore. It was one of those very surreal ideas things. And apparently Sam also had the same feeling as well. Apparently we both shared the same weird impulse when we first went round the corner. And we see a multitude, because that year I think nearly everybody that did that, the main UK reviewer base of community, like the main ones that did the Moonbase 2 podcast, the Moonbase 2 forum, which was actually up and running back then. Now it's known as the Full Metal Hero forum. But back then there was at the Moonbase 2, Old Oil House. There was another couple of different people from different podcasts there. There was the ones that I more or less spoke to that did reviews on YouTube, and it was just unbelievable because as soon as we walked into the room, everybody in that room, except for one or two individuals, but everybody, I do apologise for going dark, I'm using the light on the TV to try and illuminate me, but everybody seemed obviously recognised us from doing videos, and the sheer amount of interest of us being there. We had people bro hugging us here, there, and everywhere. We had people saying, "We love your videos, John. Your videos have inspired me to do out my own." I was like, "Really? My videos have inspired you to do yours?" I was like, "Really? Honestly?" Because honestly, my videos aren't that very good. Me personally, I don't like them because I don't like my voice and I don't like my appearance. That's why I've got a lot of insecurities with myself. And but doing these videos and meeting people at our assembly throughout the years I've been going, it's really helped me come out of my shell, and it's helped me try and become a little bit more confident when it comes to be sociable. Definitely, that's one thing it's really helped with me personally, and I think Sam would say the same thing. But yes, it was unbelievable. That was the one fondest moment that really stayed with me. That year again was also very special because the guest of honour was Scott McNeil and Gary Chalk, and those two were literally my idols. I knew those two voice actors many years before I even went to Auto Assembly, mainly because obviously Scott McNeil voiced numerous characters in Beast Wars, and also Gary Chalk was in Beast Wars, did Optimus Primal. Then those two voice actors voiced between them. Obviously, Gary Chalk only did Optimus Primal, but those two voice actors performed the voices of the characters that I really loved and admired throughout my childhood of growing up. My first experience of watching anything Transformers wise, and it was unbelievable to actually meet them face to face, have a couple of pints with them, talk to them in the bar. They were that awesome of individuals. All the weekend fun that was going on, like the script reading, it was my first time checking out the script reading. I think the 2010 script reading for me personally was the best, because obviously it was the first one. And hearing Scott McNeil doing Waspinator, Rat Trap, Dinobot and Silverbolt all at once was unbelievable. Because obviously Scott McNeil also has provided voices for anime dub as well. So I know him from, he was in Gundam Wing. He played the guy with the long, like he wore a cap, had like a long, like braided ponytail down the back. He was one of the main characters that had one of the Gundams. Yeah, it was. So I knew some of his work as well as being in Beast Wars, which was amazing to just see him for the first time and see Gary Chalk as well. It was just unbelievable. It was just a dream come true. Meeting all the awesome people for the very first time in person rather than being over camera or on the internet. It was one of the most unreal feelings I've ever felt. I was very uneasy when I first was there, but what the whole beautiful thing about Auto Assembly is that you feel that welcomeism. You know, welcomeism, I don't think that's actually a word, but as soon, I mean, we didn't know who to talk to first. We looked like idiots standing in the corner of the room or in the bar. very much to ourselves for a good 10-15 minutes, and then we started circulating the room. We spoke to two individuals, then they got us involved in conversations with other people, and that's how slowly throughout the weekend we got our mojo, we got our confidence a little bit, and we spoke to awesome people. Those that went to 2010, you saw me, you spoke to me, you know who I'm talking about. So I'm not going to name names because, well, except for the ones that we met for literally within the first 30 minutes of us stepping in. But everybody else that was there that year and you actually came up and spoke to me, if you can remember doing that, then that's awesome. It was awesome. 2010 was amazing, but again, I'm not saying other auto assemblies have not been any good. There was a couple of auto assemblies, well, one specific year where it was extremely strange, where a lot of things went really weird and really mad. A lot of weird things. There was the Birmingham riots, the big riots going on that year in Birmingham during the auto assembly event. That it was ifing and uffing if it was going to be cancelled or not. But it went on, which was kind of interesting. And also, I think, was it that year or was it the year before or after? I can't remember. That one of the guests of honour, I think it was David Wise, I think it was his name, he fell out of the taxi getting to the hotel and injured his arm. So throughout the whole event, he was in a sling. That was an interesting year. And a few individuals had personal issues with family members. I'm not going to go into that because it's not my business. But it was a really strange, surreal year, that one. I believe that's the year I'm talking about. I might be getting mixed up with two individual separate years, but there was a couple that were really weird when it came to how things felt that them ones, or that one. And then obviously meeting Steve Bloom as well, which was back in 2012. 12? Yes, 12. Yeah, 2000. How was it 12 or was it last year? Yeah, it was the Auto Assembly Gone. I do apologise. It was 2013 AA, I think Steve Bloom went to. Meeting Steve Bloom again was a dream come true. So, because obviously he's been in a numerous amount of anime dub. Provided the voice for some characters that I loved, especially in Digimon, which again was a big influential show for me as a kid. And obviously he currently played Starscream in Transformers Prime, and apparently I think he actually did the voice of a few other Transformers in R.I.D. as well, which I never realised. So yeah, it was an amazing just to see him. So, but for me, 2010, that first interaction with the awesome people that were there will always stay with me forever. Even though, as well, this was just a bonus to meet Scott McNeil and Matt Gary Chalk, and obviously Steve Bloom, meeting those individuals, and obviously some of the G1 actors like Greg Berger. Who else have I met? The guy who played G1 Prowl, I believe. Also met the guy who played Dan Gilbazan, G1 Bumblebee. Who else? Bloody hell, I've forgotten. But yeah, I've met some awesome idols from the G1 cartoons as well. And this year I'm going to be meeting some more G1 actors as well as Townsend Coleman for the second time as well. So yeah, I'm going to bring this to an end now. I've spoken way too much about it because that's the problem. It's trying to condense this question into a very quick video. It's quite hard for me because it's trying to pour enough detail out of the main answer to Tony's question, but then I also have to reiterate on other things as well. So I do apologise. I do rant on, but when it comes to videos, but sometimes I can't help it because I feel in my head I've got to put this in there, that in there. That's why you get the long played out video. So thank you again for watching through this. Thank you for your patience watching this, even though the camera quality is crap. But you can just play it in the background while you're surfing the interwebs. That's what I think a lot of people do these days. So thank you again. I'll be back very soon with more videos. Just to let you guys know, the Nosy and Storm podcast, Transformers Age of Extinction, live action movie opinion talk video for the podcast, well, for the video podcast anyway, for YouTube. That will be uploaded within the next couple of days after this video has been uploaded. So keep your optics open for that one. See what I did there? Optics, yeah. So yeah, if you keep your optics open for that one, it's a long one, but it's between myself and Sam, Jose Firestorm. We'll both come together. We basically just spoke about the movie for the first time since we went to see it. I mean, Sam's been seen it twice. I've seen it once. I want to try and see it again before Auto Assembly, but I doubt it. I think some individuals think about seeing it when we get there on the Friday, I think. So if I don't get to see it before AA, then I'll see it at AA or during AA. So yes, thank you. Goodbye. You're all awesome. Peace. Keep safe, people. Have an awesome one. See you later.